this team, and we'll get into this also when I do the defense, the difference between them at home and them on the road is light years difference. It's literally like 150-yard difference between them at home and them on the road.
Well, some of that's having to travel across the country for most of your games.
45, 40, 35, 40, he's gonna go! It's time people feel us!
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better! If we die, we die!
Man, put a child in that, put him in the aisle.
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Big Red Junkies. We appreciate you. I am BJ. This is Jed. This is Matt. We are 6-2 on the season. We don't even have to talk about bowl eligibility. We don't have to screw around with it anymore this year. We're on to bigger and better things, as Matt Rhule put it in his press conference this morning. And a couple other times, I think, when he said last year, after we got bowl eligible, that's the last time we celebrate 6 wins.
Yep, that was last year's narrative.
So we can celebrate a Northwestern win, which is what we did on Saturday.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Matt and I were in attendance. For those of you that didn't hear it, the best chant of the day was "Refs, you suck." That's where I want to start with this game, because the refs sucked, but I also think they sucked for both teams.
Yes.
Yes and no. I think that they had a much larger impact on Northwestern staying in the game than any negative impact they had against Northwestern. They successfully helped Northwestern keep 2 drives alive, which both resulted in touchdowns. So
one of them should have given the ball to Nebraska.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And the other one, you were looking at what would have been a 3rd and 10.
3rd and 8, yeah.
3rd and 8. So they did a really good job of keeping Northwestern in the game, in my opinion. And because it was in Lincoln and all the fans were there and all the fans were a special sort of pissed off by halftime about how they were officiating the game, it wasn't a good look.
From the very beginning, the refs sounded as if they had either showed up already drunk or extremely hungover. They couldn't get standard calls out.
To me, I got the impression that they were all a little tired from the high school football games they had refereed the night before.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. And I don't want to turn this into just a shit on the refs thing, but
fuck those refs.
I feel like it had to have been at least talked about just for a second.
Absolutely.
There were calls that didn't get called on Nebraska that definitely swung some things for Northwestern. There was
the last play of the game.
I was going to say there should have been a defensive holding call on Andrew Marshall in the last play of the game. But at the same time, when you have an electric start to the second half with a guy coming out and taking it to the house, all of the momentum, all of the air that had been sucked out of the stadium in the first half by it being 7-6 and it feeling like another one of those, what the fuck, we can't do anything right games, that brought all the juice and all the energy. And on the ensuing drive, essentially they give them a touchdown.
Yep.
It was a wild swing of emotions there. And I don't recall ever hearing the crowd that loud when I was there for anything negative.
It wasn't a swing to sad emotions, though, like it usually has been.
No, it was angry.
It was angry fucking emotions.
Yeah.
The whole... It felt warmer in there because everybody was so angry.
The beer didn't hurt it on that side either. But all that being said, I think Nebraska showed it was another gritty win, and it was another single point or a single score win on the season. We're 4-1 in one score games. Or 3-1. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was 4 now. Regardless, that's way better record than we've had for 10 years in single score games. Yeah. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we actually stuck to a game plan and it worked.
I mean, it worked at times. I mean, there were moments in that game where it was like, what in the fuck are you guys doing? But it wasn't like, that's normal stuff. I mean, every game, every team that you root for, you're always going to have lulls and ebbs and flows of the game, and
calls don't work.
Yeah.
Series that don't make sense.
It's just, if you compound them on, go game by game and compound everything on top of each other rather than forgetting the previous game, then it, creates an issue. But
I had less frustration with the offensive game plan than I did at moments with the defensive game plan. The all-out blitz in the middle of the field that resulted in that long touchdown run by them. That was strange. It was just a weird call. You're bringing all 11 up the middle with no one back in case a guy bounces outside. It was a strange call. And it resulted in a touchdown for Northwestern. But
I think whatever we try to do on 4th and 1 at any point is always a strange call because those plays suck.
Doesn't seem to work ever.
God. It's funny. Our friend Stacy, she is always texting me every time Harburg comes into a game. Like, it especially lines up at quarterback. She's like, everybody knows what's going to happen. Why the fuck do they still do this? And as soon as they did it, I'm texting her. She was at the game too. And I'm like, you have to be just fuming right now, aren't you?
We kind of had the same conversation while we were sitting in the stands. We were both like, at some point, they're going to try like a pass over the top or something. Nope.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything. It's just we pray and hope that you can get a good call from the refs because I wasn't convinced on either of those that we really got enough yardage.
No, but as far as the offensive game plan, the fact that they gave the ball to a running back named Emmett Johnson 27 times, I am all in favor of whatever game plan that is.
Yeah.
Especially because it worked.
Yes.
And he showed that he could handle it and he didn't look exhausted at the end of the game.
Yes.
In fact, it almost got him more fired up because then he was blocking better too.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is the best blocking game that he's had.
Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
There was one where there was a free guy coming off the edge and had Emmett actually not like blown him up. He blew him up. He really did. He did a nice job blocking him out, and Raiola completed a pass over the top of it.
Yeah. You're going to have more of that this week if we're going to stay in this game.
Real quickly, not that I want to go back to the ref thing, but I just have to say, because I listened to the game first because I was working, and listening to Damon Benning, who's been around obviously for a long time in football in general, and coaches and everything else, listening to him freak the fuck out about the abrupt movement penalty.
That was hilarious. I was down getting beer at the time, so I know exactly what you're talking about because I could hear it.
Okay, yeah. He was like, what are we supposed to do? Just slowly saunter over somewhere else?
Just let them know that we're blitzing. Hey guys, I'm blitzing, just so you know, in case I move early. It's just because I'm blitzing.
And then it didn't help that, like, he's still going on and on. Like 4 plays later, he's still going on and on about this abrupt movement thing. And then that 4th down play happens.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, well, they're going to review it and they're going to reverse it. And then they don't. And he was already on 11.
I wish I could have heard
that. And as soon as they said the call is upheld, I don't know what he threw in there, but you heard something hit something else. Like, it was like, what are we doing here?
It's like the refs were told they will score on this drive, make it happen.
The wildest part about that call specifically was you had a huddle of 3 of the refs standing right in the middle of the field where no one else was around, and they're watching the Jumbotron and seeing, oh yeah, clearly he's marked short. Clearly he's marked short.
They can't go off the Jumbotron, though.
No, I understand that, but it was that obvious.
The refs that weren't important enough to be making the decision were the ones that were
okay.
This should come back.
And they had clear shock when he said that it was upheld.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
On the heels in the same week of a giant gambling investigation that's coming to a head in the NBA, where every single thing in any sport, across any sport right now, bad calls like that are evident and obvious are going to be looked at tremendously.
And that one should be.
That's the instant expectation is if anyone after watching what's gone on with the NBA this last week is that, oh, wow, these guys are just on the take. Got it. We got it. There's a clear directive here.
I didn't care that
It didn't help that Northwestern then covered by 0.5 point.
Yeah. I didn't care that the guy on the field marked it where he marked it. Obviously, it was wrong. But the fact that you go to replay and you still don't get it right?
Yeah.
What is happening? Like,
well, and there was no explanation. If you give an explanation, the only explanation is forward progress. But he didn't have possession of the ball where his forward progress was.
Yeah.
None of it made sense. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm sorry. I'm very confused about why you're watching this because otherwise you probably do know what we're talking about. Either way, we appreciate you guys. If you have comments on this specific thing, especially that first down call that should have been a turnover on downs, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think because I thought it was ass.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into the positives on this game, and I think a lot of that's going to come from hearing answers to questions. Jed, what did we look like?
There is going to be a lot of positives because a lot of people did really, really well.
Hold on. How did Julie do?
Well, I'll get there.
Yeah, you keep skipping ahead.
Yeah, don't skip
I'm
ahead.
sorry. She's become my favorite person.
There's lots of great fan participation.
I agree.
Singling one out.
You're right. But Julie, none of us have ever said that you don't know football. So just calm down. Everything's okay.
Julie, if you did poorly this week, we might say it.
We'll find out.
Matt can.
Question number 1 was missed tackles by Nebraska, 13.5. We only had 4. Everybody took the under there. Sacks allowed by Nebraska, 5.5. We only gave up 1. BJ and the fans went under on that one.
They finally proved it.
Yeah. Emmett Johnson carries 16.5. Definitely over. Everybody took the over.
Hold on. Go back to the sacks allowed thing.
Yep.
Because I do have to point out here, for all the people that say Dylan can't throw away a pass, things like that.
He had like 4.
And he actually, he threw them like straight out of bounds.
Yes.
Like, there's the first down marker. I will, or the line of scrimmage marker. I will throw it 1 yard past that, and otherwise it's going to the stands.
Yep. Question 4 was who will lead the game in receiving yards? Anyone for Nebraska or Northwestern's Griffin Wilde? Wilde had 54. Hunter had 70. So Nebraska wins that one. Everybody got that one right. Tackles by Javin Wright. He had been having 4 straight games of 10+ tackles.
Monster.
I had the number at 10.5. He only had 1. So myself and the fans took the under on that one.
With the way he graded out, that makes no sense.
I know. It was weird.
Speaking of tackles, though, I do want to point out, guy who was so injured he couldn't play at Minnesota or tried to play and couldn't get it done, Vincent Shavers. Dude balled out.
Yeah, great bounce
with
back
a
game.
Giant cast on his hand, and he was our 3rd leading tackler.
Yes. Yeah. Defensive takeaways by Nebraska. We hadn't had any in the last 2 games. I just basically, were we going to get some? We got 2, so definitely over. Everybody took the over there. This one was kind of an interesting one. Nebraska 3rd down conversion percentage, I put it at 40%. Going into that last drive for Nebraska, we were 2 of 8, so we were way below the 40%.
Then we went 4 for 4?
Then we went 4 for 4. We ended at 50%. So
yeah.
BJ and the fans took the over on that one. The last question was targets on Donovan Jones, 3.5. He got targeted twice, allowed 2 catches for 10 yards. BJ and myself took the under on that one.
Also a bounce back game for him and
Yes.
Rex Guthrie.
Yes.
Rex led the team in total tackles and had 5 solos. The dude was out there to prove a point, and that was to everybody else, quiet down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it really a bounce back game, though, if the only 2 times you're targeted, you allow the pass to be completed?
Yeah, but he played well outside of
it, yeah.
That's why I
he
look at
had
it
a
as
couple really
bounce-back
big
game.
tackles in the run game that could have gone for bigger yards.
I'm old fashioned. I don't want to see any passes
No, I
completed.
get it.
I'm going to go back to the first 4 games of the season.
Seriously.
So, Matt, you only got 5 right this week.
Yeah.
Only 5 of 8.
Only 5 of 8.
Well, we also include the point spread and the over-under as far
50%
as between us 3. So, Matt went 5-5. I went 7-3. BJ went 8-2.
Damn!
Weird week.
As far as just on the questions, the fans on Twitter went 7-1.
Wow.
So they crushed it.
Impressive.
Sweet.
As far as the people that put up their answers on YouTube, one guy went 8-0.
Shut up.
Whatever I don't know what his real name is, but his screen name is GBR14-18H.
Wow.
He went 8-0.
Way to go, GBR 14-8.8.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call him serial number.
Yeah.
7 people went 7-1, including Patty, Jonathan, Brandon Scott, Vince Oaktree, and Dreamin' Digital.
Holy cow.
11 people had 6 wins, including some shithead named Tyler Burks, who just happens to be my brother.
Way to go, Tyler. Shout out, man.
Got to go with the loser of the week was Jacob Werner, who only had 2 correct.
Oh, boy.
And Husker Cowboy thanks Jacob because Husker Cowboy only had 3, so otherwise it would have been him.
Wow.
Now,
was Jacob trolling or just being negative?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. That's fair.
I think if I remember correctly, he's the one that said something about being cynical this week.
Oh,
so I don't know about
fair.
trolling, but just kind of
Easy to be against Northwestern. They're just always there.
also still coming off of the Minnesota game. So yeah,
Yep.
I get it. But the main conversation that everybody looks forward to in this this segment,
Julie,
is how did Julie do? First of all, again, nobody thinks that you don't know football, so relax. The last few weeks has been a struggle for you, but this week you were above 500 and you went 5-3.
Heyo.
Very nice.
And just to let Lee Holbein know, because apparently all he cared about, because he made a comment on his picks, I just want to beat Julie this week, which...
Julie, you're becoming a favorite.
Again, no disrespect to Julie, but she kind of set the bar low to be able to beat her. But anyway, Lee, you did beat her. You went 6-2.
Hey, guys, don't ever tell us we don't read the comments. We appreciate you guys. So stick around and make sure you're throwing your answers in there for the rest of it.
Yep.
Because we are on to USC. Beating Northwestern was big. It was good to get bowl eligible, but we have bigger things at hand. We've got another chance at beating a ranked opponent. Coming in here, it's the blackout game. As you can tell, we're all ready. It is Monday night, so we're wearing black all week, just so you guys know. Probably not. That's not true. I don't have that much black, but
this teacher's going to stank.
And I can't wear black for work, so
there's that. I do want to hear first and foremost, Matt, I want to hear how this offense is going to challenge us.
Oh, no. You don't want to hear about it. Their offense is really good. Their offense, any metric you look at, their offense is just pretty fucking elite.
For the first time since he's been there, it looks like a good Lincoln Riley offense.
It looks like a Lincoln Riley offense from Oklahoma. Like they're just, I'll kind of run out a list. 520 yards per game total. That's first in the FBS. 326 yards per game throwing just through the air. First in the FBS. 42.4 points per game. That's second in the Big Ten and fifth in FBS. Like they're really good at scoring points.
Oh, by the way, they run the ball well.
Yep.
That's not the highlight of their offense, especially won't be this week, and we'll kind of get into that. But
they're still in the top 25.
Yeah, they all around their offense is really fucking good.
I will say one thing though, yes, their offense is really good. It's heavily weighted by their first two games where they had 1,300. A little over 1,300 yards.
Damn.
Because they played garbage teams. But also this team, and we'll get into this also when I do the defense, the difference between them at home and them on the road is light years different. It's literally like 150-yard difference between them at home and them on the road.
Damn.
So, a little give and take there, but.
Absolutely. Well, some of that's having to travel across the country for most of your games. But
I heard a wild stat that from like 06 to 2004, from 2014 to 2024, they didn't win a single game in the Central or Eastern time zones.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're 1-2 this season.
Yeah, they beat Purdue earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which, cool.
Sorry, I'm stepping on you here, man.
You guys are just talking about things like, I'll skip over them, or I won't. We'll talk about it a second.
Go ahead, sorry.
Jaden Maeva, pretty good this year so far. He's just under 70% completion rating. He's already well over 2,000 yards through the air. They have three guys. Well, they have a bunch of guys who can catch the ball. Three guys in particular you need to look out for: Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane, and then their senior tight end, Lake McCree.
Yeah.
They're all just having really good years.
Mekhi Lemon is.
He's almost at 800 yards on the season.
He's one of the three best wide receivers in the country.
I was going to say he'll be a top 3 wide receiver off the board.
Outside of
he
Ryan
has almost
Williams,
50 catches. Yeah.
Ryan Williams, Jonathan Smith, and Mekhi Lemon. Yeah. Rank him any three that you want to rank him, and you're right.
Yeah,
so.
he's only a junior, but kid's getting fucking drafted.
Yes,
like they're pretty good.
The average is over 100 yards a game.
Running side of the ball, you get a little bit of headwind back because two of their top 3 runners will be out for this game. Which leaves their freshman running back King Miller as the one taking the majority of the snaps. You would imagine. Downside of that is right now he's averaging over 8 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So that also a good part of their game, just not the flashy big part.
Yeah, and he had 158 against Michigan. So
and oh, by the way, Maeva's mobile. He's not a runner per se, but he's very mobile.
He can't. He's kind of like Dylan Raiola in the fact that he can
he's
if
capable.
he needs to.
Yes,
but he prefers not to because he has all these weapons out there who are better at it than he is. Only other thing, really, 53.9% on third downs. That's 6th in FBS. Obviously, if you're moving the ball that much, you're going to be pretty efficient. And the only other thing I really had to call out was exactly what you said. They are a different team when they're on the road. Things just kind of condense. They're not as good. The only road win they have is against Purdue. Illinois was a close game, but they beat them. And then Notre Dame last week, as we saw, they just kind of handled them the majority of the game. Yeah. They only scored 24 points. So I think if the crowd can get big and they can be tired and we can really get into it, it'll be a good game for us.
As smart and as good as Lincoln Riley is, he gets in his own way a lot.
I'll say he's going to give you a couple chances every game to get something back on him.
That's another thing. They do turn the ball over some. So I don't have a great stat on it, but they're negative in the turnover department.
Yeah. And not that we get a lot of sacks, but they don't allow many sacks. They've only allowed like 6 on the season.
Yeah.
So, they're very sturdy up front. Obviously, by looking at their running game, too.
One of those things for a note on Nebraska, we have to protect Dylan so that we can keep up with them scoring-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Speaking of the defense, they do not rank in the top half of the FBS in anything.
No.
Tell me about it.
But that does not mean that they're devoid of talent, though, because their safety, Bishop Fitzgerald, is their best player. He's ranked number 1 in PFF for safeties in the entire country. He has the second most tackles on the season for USC. He has 5 of their 9 interceptions. He's returned 1 of them for a touchdown. So he's going to be, a scary guy for us. He's number 19 out there. And then their linebacker, Eric Gentry, who has the most tackles on the team. He also is tied for the lead in sacks for the team also. Like you kind of said, middle of the road at best on most of their defensive statistics. Again, drastically different on the road. They're 68th in the country in yards per game allowed, but just on the road yards, they're 98th in the country. So again, it's a drastically different team.
That's tough.
They allow 28 points per game on the road. The one big thing for Nebraska, though, is going to be red zone. How efficient we are in the red zone. In a red zone defense for them, they allow 59% of the time a team scores. That's second in the country. Nebraska has been 100% in each of the last 4 games. So good on good.
Yeah.
Either we need to score outside of the red zone or we need to, reverse their trend as far as how good they are.
Regardless of where we are in the field, we need to score on a lot of our drives.
Yes. With the exception of their safety back there, are we going to be able to throw on their DBs?
I don't really think any of their other DBs are anything to really write home about.
Anything that we haven't already seen this year?
Yeah, no. That's I guess that's my point. I mean, they're a lot like...
They're still Big Ten defenders, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a big test, I think, for Dylan Raiola more than anything.
Big time.
This is, something that I heard earlier this weekend when looking forward to this. It's not that they don't have a ton of talent on the defensive side, but they're built kind of like Nebraska right now, where they're small and they've got a bunch of William Wineries out there, bunch of freakish athletic dudes, but they aren't necessarily getting much of a push. As far as a pressures percent, I don't think their pressure rate is that high. I don't have this. I was trying to find the number frantically right now, and I can't find it. But
I think they average. Or no, I was looking at the Nebraska side. Never mind. Sorry.
Totally fine. My big thing is exactly what Matt just said. The point of emphasis in this game is going to be keeping Dylan Raiola upright and letting him continue to make the right decisions. Whether that is throwing the ball a lot more than we have, which it's possible that we're going to have to score a bunch in this to keep up. I don't know that either side's defense is going to be like this. Might turn into a shootout. Who's going to score 40 points first type of a thing. I feel like when I'm just looking at the numbers across the board and looking at what they gave up, especially I know we don't have a running back the caliber of Jordan Love, or not Jordan Love, Love from Notre Dame. I can't remember his first name. Jeremiah Love. There you go. Who's probably going to be the number 1 running back taken in the draft this year. But I mean, they gave up almost 400 or over 400 yards rushing in that game, and that's going to have to be a key to what we're doing in this. I can't imagine after what we saw in the Northwestern game, it's going to look much different than that.
Yeah, this game is going to have a lot of pressure, not just on, obviously, I know we all talk about the quarterback, Dylan, and whatever, or just the quarterback position in a general sense, but...
It looks like they only have 18 on the season.
18 what?
Pressures.
Who?
Not
USC.
Pressures.
What it says. Quarterback hurries. Looking at it.
Wow.
But this is going to be a big pressure game for the offensive line again to have the injuries that they do, the shuffling that they have to do. thankfully, we have an entire week to get kind of used to these guys in there now, but we need to do what we did last week again.
We've got a good blueprint when you look at what we did. I mean, they put the wood to Michigan in what looked like a really bad game. It was at home. We've talked at length about the differences in teams that have to travel across the country right now, and that seemed like one of those types of games. But they were sandwiched by 2 really bad losses. The one major benefit that they have is Lincoln Riley has had 2 weeks to game plan because they're coming off a bye.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That was actually a pretty funny joke Rhule made in the press conference where he's like, I'm saying this tongue in cheek, but thanks a lot for giving him 2 weeks to game plan for us. They got embarrassed by Notre Dame. That game, it was only a 10-point score differential there, but it did not feel at any time in that game like they were that in it. They were getting run all over. I think Emmett Johnson's going to be able to have a big day in this. And that might lead a little bit into what I think is going to happen with the picks. But before we get there, I do want to hear about tracks.
Do you like chicken? Do you like the world's best chicken? I happen to love chicken, and I'm here to tell you, Tracks Lounge in Omaha has the world's best chicken, and that's a scientific fact. Actually, ever since 1965, Tracks has been proudly serving the world's best chicken right here in Omaha at their original location just north of Center on 1506 South 60th Street. But honestly, their chicken is so good, they've officially flown the coop and opened a second brand new location out in West Omaha on 18111 Hugh Street. Do you like your taste buds? You want to treat them right? Get over to Tracks today and get some of the world's best chicken. If you really like your taste buds, get the hot buffalo mixed with garlic parm.
Matt, let's hear about that PFF fantasy game that we got going on.
Sure. First, I gotta correct something quick. I was looking at a single game. My bad. They're averaging like 15.7 pressures per game.
That makes a little more sense.
I don't know what I was looking at.
Dylan's going to be standing back there all day to throw. Dylan's going for 500 in this game, boys.
Nope, my bad. That's on me.
That's okay.
Well, also cbfstats.com. Great place for information. Not the most user friendly.
No.
All right, PFF week 9. Guess who won this week, guys?
Jerk.
It's going to be shocking that it's you.
For the 5th time this year.
By a 1.5 points, damn it.
Even though I've scored the least amount of points between the three of us on the year. I'm kicking your guys' asses when it matters. And you're right. It was by exactly 1.5 points. I scored 321. Jed was 319.5. And BJ, you once again had a slump of a week, 281.4. Dylan Raiola did not help you out this week.
No.
He had his worst grade out on the season. 44.9 points was his PFF grade.
And he played one of the most important games of the season when it comes to his style of play and what he was doing. Like I said, getting rid of the ball.
He didn't make a lot of mistakes.
No.
So it's weird that he graded out as low as he did. I don't fully understand the quarterback metrics. We kind of talked about that before the show started.
Yeah.
That's why we always say whenever we bring up Pro Football Focus, we used to say it a lot, but now we just whatever. We know that there's some negatives to it, but it is what it is. And this is what they do.
It's a metric to look at.
Exactly.
It's a metric to look at, period.
Yeah.
BJ, your best performer was actually Donovan Jones this week. And you actually did a good job by keeping him in because all the dudes on your bench were also in the 50s. So you just had a bit of a rough week. I had 2 guys that were in the top 3, Isaiah Hunter and Emmett Johnson. So those guys kind of carried me along this week. Luke Lindenmeyer was down.
Usually Luke's
Williams
at least
and
in the 70s.
Yeah. He's kind of been my workhorse this year, and it just hasn't worked out. Williams Maneri was a flat 44, so that wasn't great. And then I did leave a couple points on my bench. Marquise Buford actually had a really good grade until I realized he only played 5 snaps.
Yeah.
So that bumped him down to a 0. Thank God he's on my bench.
Dude's just not getting much play.
Yeah.
Jed, for you had the best player of the week again.
And I had the worst.
Again, yeah.
That's true.
Javin Wright just he graded out as a 90. It's one of the highest grades we've seen on
my
the
mid-season pickup.
Yeah.
that pick that he had where supposedly it was because the ref got in the way and they couldn't see him.
Yeah.
That was the 0 on his chest was a bullseye. That was
because
one of the
Javin Wright
weirdest
is
ones.
such a small guy that could hide behind a referee.
Not to mention, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she is a female, but like a 5'5" female ref Come on, the guy's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked back. That's the second highest PFF grade we've seen from the team this year.
Nice.
Wow. Only behind Riley Van Poppel.
That's awesome.
1 week where he was on my bench. So
good work for them.
So he was a big one for you, but then like you said, Andrew Marshall, 39.3, that's not going to get it done.
No.
So, a lot of ups and downs this week, but you're starting to see kind of a trend of the top players now.
Yeah.
One guy that I did want to point out, Rex Guthrie has been on the top 10s list the last 3 weeks.
Way to go, Rex.
He's not on any of our teams, so he's just flying under the radar right now. But he's doing a good job.
Don't like that.
And he's had enough snaps consistently where you're getting to actually see his numbers. So
I dig it.
He's looking good on that point.
I am going to make a roster move, and I'm going to swap Deshaun McCullough down to my. I'm gonna swap him out. I'm gonna move Deshaun Singleton up to my defensive one, and I'm moving Rocco Spindler to my flex.
Nice.
Rocco, I have to give him a massive shout out. That dude had bones sticking out of his finger on the sideline, trying to go back into the Minnesota game. Instead, had to go to the hospital because he had to have surgery on that.
And then
Sunday.
apologize for not being able to come back in and play,
and feeling like he let the team down. And then you turn around and he practiced all week, and then he played every snap on offense.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is a beast. Shout out to Rocco Spindler. Yes. Hands down. No doubt.
I agree.
I'm not going to make any moves. Jed, did you want to make any changes?
I do. And I this isn't necessarily a punishment on Andrew Marshall for the, at least the scoring wise bad game that he had. It's more about the matchup because I think this matchup is a bad matchup for our secondary.
It's going to be tough.
So I am going to move Marshall down and Shavers in. Because the only reason I put Shavers out for this last game is because
injury.
I wasn't 100% sure how much he was going to play. So clearly he's good to go. So I'm moving Shavers back into my lineup.
Another beast.
Yes.
Injured, playing with a cast on his hand. Guy got out there. I know I already shouted him out.
Maybe he just wanted to be able to take a weapon out there.
I said from an offensive line perspective, if you have your hand fully gloved up, how are you going to get called for a holding call unless you wrap a guy up? Yeah. Like that's almost got to be a benefit.
Unless you clotheslines, you hook the whole arm.
That's what I mean. You wrap a guy up.
Yeah.
There's no arguing this. You very clearly grabbed the guy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make those changes, and we'll see you guys lose another week next week.
All righty, Jed, let's roll into the questions where I'm going to smack Matt's ass around again.
Jesus.
What?
Hey, I went 8-2. I beat you down.
You did.
Specifically my ass? That was weird.
Still got some ass left.
Question number 1 is, again, one of the best wide receivers in the country, receiving yards by Mekhi Lemon from USC. He's averaging 108 yards per game. That's second in the country. We have not allowed one receiver to go over 100 yards yet this year. We allowed 3 last year. So can he get over 100? He's averaging 108, so 99.5.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because I think that there's going to be certain things we're going to be able to take away in this game. And a guy who has doubled up receptions on anybody else on his team is not probably going to be one of them. Mm-hmm. And Lincoln Riley is a smart enough play caller that he's going to try and expose a couple of the guys that are not doing as well in coverage. Also, the fact that Sayre Wright's not going to be able to shadow him the entire game is going to hurt us, I think. So I'm going to go over on that one, unfortunately. Okay.
I like your logic, but I'm going to go under with similar logic. I think Lincoln Riley is a smart enough coach that he'll go find some ways to get the ball around without it necessarily going to the best guy because we will have a game plan for him. So I'm actually taking the under on that one.
I like that.
I'm going to take the over because I think he's going to get a big one. He's going to get behind.
Is he a big play, dude? His numbers look like big play, but I haven't seen it.
I just think he's going to get behind somebody. Question number 2, total yards by Nebraska's offense, 349.5. They average 314 in conference games. But again, with USC's defense, they allow 433 on the road.
Because they can.
I mean, they gave up almost 600 to Notre Dame, though, didn't they? Or over 600?
I don't remember. But Nebraska's not... I feel... I mean, we can workshop this a little bit, but I kind of feel like it's a little high, 350, because we haven't even gone over 300 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So...
What's our average?
Well, 314 in conference games.
But you got to remember, just like USC, we beat up bad on. I think on Akron we had over 700.
Well, no, that's why
yards.
that's why I have the numbers just in
conference.
conference games because overall we're like 401.
Got it. Okay,
That's why I kind of wanted to just focus on the conference games.
Then I think 350 is a bit high.
Maybe 325 back, kind of to our average of 314 in conference
I'd maybe just set it there.
at 314.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think 325 is a fine number. I think because of the way I think this game is going to go, I am going to go over even on 325.
Okay.
I like I said, I feel like this might be a bit of a shootout. This is going to be Dana Holgerson versus Lincoln Riley, two dudes that are very similar with their styles, but their whole thing in this is going to be we have to outshine the other guy because of the fact that I think both these defenses are going to struggle a little bit. So I do think we're going over.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. You might have swayed me, but I don't think so. I'm going to take the under.
All right. I was gonna definitely take the under on the 350. Now it's a little more sketchy.
Well, that's what this number should do is make you
No,
question.
100%. Gosh. Yeah, I'll go with the over because their defense on the road. I really don't know, but I'll just go with the over. No, wait, no, BJ has the over. I'm taking the over.
I was like, I'm just going to wait till he writes it down and then he sees that.
No, because I agreed with you on the previous question, so at least I got to go against you on that one.
Hey, BJ had one good week. He might be a savant now.
That's true. Question number 3 is unfortunately a question I'm going to start repeating because it has been the story of the season, no matter how good we were last week. Sacks allowed by Nebraska, 3.5. USC has 21 sacks on the season. That's 3 per game. Against Michigan State and Illinois, who they've already played, they have each allowed 23 sacks on the season. So just as bad as Nebraska. Nebraska's allowed 26. USC only got 3 sacks in those 2 games total.
Wow.
So even against 2 teams that are terrible at allowing sacks, they only got sacked once and twice.
Man,
so,
they really don't like being on the road, do they?
No. Well, the Illinois game was on the road.
That's what I mean.
So, yeah.
They really don't like playing on the road.
So I did lower it from last week. Last week I had 5.5 for sacks allowed by Nebraska. I put it to 3.5.
If it was at 2.5, I'd go over, but I'll take the under on this one. I think 3 is the right number.
Yeah, that's their average per season, per game. So 3. So
I think we're going to give up a couple, but I also think unless we see some weird regression like we did in the Minnesota game, the coaches will still be game planning. Dylan will still have a focus on it this week of getting the ball out early or getting it out of his hand at least so it can go out of bounds. We need to put together back-to-back weeks where the offensive line plays well, and
get
I think
some confidence.
doing it 2 weeks in a row at home is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take the under.
Because of the injury concerns, because we still don't know if Gatula or Corcoran's starting it right, and because we do still have a clubbed up guy in the middle, I am going to go over here because they're athletic as hell up front, even if they are small. I think that where our offensive line is going to shine in this game is going to be in the run game. And unfortunately, because of the way that this game is going to play out, I think down the stretch, we're going to have to be relying on Dylan to hold that ball a little bit longer and try and make some deeper throws. So I'm going to go over with this, and I think it's probably going to be like a 4 or 5 sack day.
Well, and to go along with what you just said, if this is going to be the shootout that I think we all think it's going to be, or at least most people think it's going to be, we're going to have to probably throw the ball around a lot more.
Yeah.
So he's going to be standing there a lot more. I do like the number at pretty much just 3. I think if it goes over, I think it's only going to be 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for some confidence and go with the under.
If I see another game where Emmett Johnson's throwing blocks like he did in this game, I will feel very happy at being wrong on this number.
Yeah.
Because that's important. That's key. If he can rely on Emmett Johnson to actually step up and make the accurate block, that's going to be big.
That's part of what we've been missing to help our offensive line.
Yeah.
Question 4, Emmett Johnson total offensive yards. So rushing and receiving, 129.5. He averages 127 per game. USC allows 176 per game rushing on the road.
Do you think our game plan will allow for him to have as many touches as he did last week?
I don't know that he's going to get to 27, but I think he'll definitely get over 20
If it's a focal point,
Did you go rushing only or total?
total.
If it's a focal point, I think he makes this number pretty easy because he's gonna be a check down option a few times as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good spot on the number. I'm gonna take the over.
Okay.
I'm not confident in it.
I'm taking the over.
I'm definitely not confident in it.
I think the Minnesota game was an aberration from the norm for him this year, mostly because of actually what I called out going into the Minnesota game, which was he was overhyped for it. Mm-hmm. He was super focused on even from preseason. I think Emmett Johnson is that dude when it comes to offensive output, and he's becoming the guy for our offense. So because of that, I see him, especially in this game where we're going to get the ball out quick on some things and we're going to need some check down stuff. I think he's going 50 plus on the passing game, and I think he's easily going to hit his 100-yard plus mark on the rushing game. So big day from Emmett.
I'm going to go over also for all of the reasons that you guys just said, but also this game isn't going to be like the last 2 weeks where we only have like high 50s, low 60s snaps on offense. We're going to get closer to 70 or above 70. We're going to maximize the amount of snaps that we have. That means more opportunities for Emmett to get more yards.
How much do you think we're actually going to try and control the game, though, and slow it down a little bit with his running?
We better.
Because, like I said, I think this is going to be a shootout, and we might get forced into speeding the game up.
Yeah.
But I think part of the game plan, that first quarter at least, you're going to see a heavy dose of Emmett running the ball and trying to slow down the clock a little bit. Limit the number of snaps we can give USC.
I agree. Question 5. Total kickoff return yards by Nebraska. This is just kickoff, not punts. 49.5 yards. So Nebraska averages 55 per game. USC allows 35 per game. USC has the 7th most touchbacks in the country, 2nd highest average per return. So they give up a lot of yards when they do return. They've only allowed 9 returns so far. But when they do allow a return, it's 29.6 yards. And Williams is, of the players that have 10 plus kickoff returns, Williams has the highest average per return at 35 yards per return.
Here's what I'm going to say. And special shout out, Kenneth Williams got a co-special teams player of the week from the Big Ten this week. Mm-hmm. Dude has 2 85-plus yarders on the season. He is leading the country at 34.7 yards per return. Dude's an absolute monster. For that reason, I think they're going to kick away from him. I think you might even see a kick out of bounds. And depending on what the wind is doing, which it's not supposed to be doing a ton, but I just don't see how they give him an opportunity.
I don't know why they would kick it out of bounds on purpose. But
not on purpose, but I'm saying that in an attempt to try and kick it away from him, there's a possibility that we get one out of. We've seen how many times this season, not just in our games, but in games across college football, have you seen this year kicks out of bounds by teams that you would not normally ever be seeing that from? It's wild how much it's happening, but it's happening at a reasonably large clip.
Players catching a ball as it's going out of bounds on the 2-yard line.
Yeah,
same type of deal. But I think it's interesting. I don't see. I'm gonna go under just because
for opportunities.
Yeah,
limited opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt.
See, and he did all the logic shit that I normally do, which is why I feel uncomfortable right now. I think I'm gonna have to go over because I think they're gonna fuck it up once, and they're gonna kick us the ball, and it's gonna bite him in the ass.
He is an electric returner.
He is.
He got hit 3 times.
Well, and it wasn't just him, right?
Return.
It was Nebraska return yards.
Yes.
So the other half of that is Ja'Cory Barney's back there, right?
I don't think so.
Not on kickoffs.
Who's the other guy?
Not on kickoff. Yeah.
Mosey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Either one of them.
Yeah.
Very electric back there. And I think that what we're doing blocking wise is helping them out a lot. So if they kick us the ball once where we actually try and return it, we could very easily get those yards.
Again, if this is the shootout that we think it's going to be, they're going to kick the ball off to us a lot. But again, they kick the ball into the end zone so much. That doesn't mean we don't take it out when we catch it in the end zone, but they have a lot of touchbacks. I kind of think that, again, with math, as far as the lack of opportunity for many different reasons, whether they kick it on the other side of Williams or they just kick it too far into the end zone that we don't return it, I'm going to take the under as well. Question 6. Who will have the higher completion percentage? Maava or Raiola? Maava is at 68.1%. Raiola is at 72.8%. But again, with how they are on the road, Maava is 68.1 on the season. He is 61.1 on the road.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think the at home factor here is big.
Yeah.
I do think we're seeing a completion rate go down just a little bit with Raiola because he is more willing to throw the ball away. At least that's what we saw against Northwestern.
And he was still over 70%.
Yeah. I think the easier answer here is just Raiola. It's math.
Yeah, I think the crowd is going to be a big factor in this game. Honestly, it's a night game. I love how Husker fans are in that stadium at night.
It's gonna be jacked.
Yes, unless for some reason the game gets really out of hand, which I just don't see it happening. The team has been really good at keeping their heads about them this year, which I all praise to Matt Rhule for.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go Raiola as well. I think we're going to continue to cause issues for USC on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to, not just because of Raiola being Raiola, I'm going to also trust our secondary against
that
Maava.
too.
So,
That too.
Not to say that they won't still make plays.
Of
I
course-
fully
no,
expect them to.
Yeah, they will.
They're the best
Absolutely, they
fucking
will.
offense in the country.
Yeah. Question 7, pressures by Nebraska's defense. I think this has to be, in order for us to win, we have to have the best game our front seven have had all season on defense. So I think this is a very key question as to whether or not we win the game. So pressures by Nebraska's defense, 9.5. USC allows 7.7 per game. They've only allowed 6 sacks on the season. Nebraska gets 10 pressures per game. They have 25 in the last 3 games. So not many.
But how does USC do on the road?
I did not look at the road and all that stuff, but
What was the question total?
9.5.
9.5. I'm going over. This is a gut one here. I'm going over mostly because of what we talked about, the atmosphere, how jacked the team is going to be. If we're replicating what we did against Colorado last year in what was the preeminent night game last year, I think that this is going to be a similar atmosphere, and we might see 3 or 4 pressures in the first quarter. So I'm going to go over just simply because the game is going to be long, and Maava is going to be running his ass off for a lot of it.
Hopefully.
You set this number as at a good one too. I'm going to take the over as well. No, I'm not. I'm going to take the under on this one. I think it's going to be 9.
He just doesn't want to agree with me.
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it.
Oh, this is another one of those tough ones that I don't know what I really want to do on this. But because I went positive on one of the questions earlier, I'll go positive again. Let's go over. Let's do this.
Listen to the positive boy over here.
That's concerning.
Wait till you hear my pick of the game. I might not be that positive, but
Yikes.
last question, question 8. Who will have a higher punt per punt average? USC averages 45.8. They've only punted 9 times all year. Nebraska does only average 40.9. They had 20 punts, but in the last 2 games, they're averaging 47.7. So Archie's been kicking it pretty well the last 2 games.
He had 2 absolute bombs. If he'd gotten the right flip on that one that landed at the 2-yard line, oof, we just need to get somebody down there. That would have been like a 58-yarder.
Yep.
Would have been wild.
So which team will have the higher per punt average? There might not be a lot of punts in this game.
I was going to say, I'm going to go with Nebraska just because Archie's got a huge foot.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take Nebraska too. I have no idea what the punting game will look like or if either one will see the field.
Yeah. Archie's got this. Nebraska. That's all I got.
Guys, USC rolls into Lincoln for a 6:30 kick this Saturday on NBC. It's our second big game on NBC this year. I love the way that they covered the first one. I think this is going to be absolutely lights out, not just because it's a blackout, which I do think is going to lead to a lot of cool things here, but this is exciting. Game time is going to be a little chilly. It's supposed to be 48 at kick, which means by the end of the game, it's going to be down in the low 40s, maybe even the high 30s, depending on how long it goes. Weather is not supposed to be a factor from a standpoint of any precipitation or wind. gusts up to 8 miles an hour are not going to be affecting the ball. We're not going to see a replay of the Rutgers game from 2 years ago or this year's Michigan State game at all. I'm very, very excited about this. I think that it's kind of wild what you've seen the lines do. The over-under opened at 58.5. It's up to 59.5 right now, which I think is actually a little bit on the low side compared to how I think the boat racing is going to commence. But this game opened at, I saw some at -7.5 USC, and what I'm looking at is -6.5. And I saw it go down on Sunday. Sunday mid-afternoon, it was down to like 4.5, which means there was a ton of early money go on Nebraska. It's back up to 6.5 USC right now. So my question to you is this, Jed, how bad is it going to be?
I don't think it's going to be bad. I think this is going to be a very close, competitive game. I am going to pick USC to win the game. As far as the covering the spread, oh man, that's a tough one because I can see it going both ways very easily. But because of the atmosphere, because it's a night game, the blackout, all that stuff, I'm going to take Nebraska to cover the spread, but USC is going to win, and I'll take the over on the total.
Matt?
I mean, I agree with everything that Jed just said. I think USC their offense is just really fucking good. I see a pretty clear path for us with good coaching, with the fan base being in it for us to actually win the game outright, but I'm not going to pick that way because math. So I think USC wins this game. I think USC barely covers. They're probably going to win by 7. It'll be a close game. And I'm going to go just under on the over-under.
I'm going to say the over gets blown out of the water.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a 70-plus point total.
Now it's going to be 17-20.
Yeah, probably. That'll be the way it goes. We'll get rained out and canceled in the second quarter now that we've said no weather. No, guys, when you look at all the analytics on this, it all screams USC's way, but I think that has a lot to do with things swinging in the analytics side of things based on the way our Minnesota games played. When you looked at this earlier in the season, it ranged anywhere between a 45 to 55% chance of Nebraska winning this game, and it's way down now. I think that's very interesting. I think the way that they got their doors beat in by Notre Dame and the fact that they are coming into a very, very, very rough environment for a night game, I think Nebraska takes this one. Matt Rhule gets a little bit of a monkey off his back, beating a top 25 team. The program gets a step in the right direction, and then all of a sudden, we're looking at a top 25 ranking again, and people wondering if we deserve it. So I'm taking Nebraska to win outright, which obviously covers the spread, and all the fat money on the over in this one. Let us know what you guys think. If you've got comments on how we're doing things, if you got comments on what you think the game is going to be, hopefully you've been following along and you dropped the prop predictions in there for us. Julie especially. We hope we see yours. Let us know. We appreciate you guys. Go Big Red.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.